Alrighty, the next panel is going to be about new products hitting the market, some cutting edge technology. This panel is going to be led by Micah Canfield of Flare Naming Service, Coach JV and Johnny Crypto of Merlin, and yep. And the panel is going to be moderated by the one and only, the social media sensation and entrepreneur, Zach Rector. Let's give him a round of applause. Nice job, Zach. Absolutely, brother. Go kill him. Have a good time. Good job. Get your shit together. Yeah.
All right. Can everyone hear me out there? XRP Vegas, how we doing? It's an absolute pleasure to be here. A huge shout out to Brad Kimes for putting this conference together. A lot of effort went on behind the scenes here to make this thing happen. So great job, Brad. We appreciate you. And before I bring on my guests here with me, for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Zach Rector, business owner, entrepreneur, and I've been making content for 2 years here on the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Obviously, we're all here because we know that XRP is going to be a part of that. And I was so excited when Brad invited me to this conference here because I knew that we were going to have a meeting here of builders and a lot of big hitters. And I know there's some of you guys out there with some pretty big bags. And so this collaboration in this community here, one of the classiest communities in crypto by far. And I'm really looking forward to speak with some of the builders here up on stage with me. And so I want to intro everyone here up on stage with me. Let's start with Micah.
Yeah, my name is Micah Canfield with Flare Naming Service. We offer domains on the Flare network. We launched yesterday, actually, at this conference at a cabana while Backstreet Boys was playing, funny enough. So that was our claim to fame there. Thank you. So yeah, we offer an opportunity to build brand identities on the Flare network. Just to quickly summarize what you can do with that. So right now, you can go to our website, flrns.domains, buy a Flare network. Let me share in a snapshot the immediate value and then the long-term value that we're having work right now. Immediate value, buy a domain on the flrns.domains, integrate your wallet, and you can use your domain to be a payment portal for cryptocurrency right now. So that's pretty exciting that we were able to pull that off. Yeah, thanks. Long-term value that we're working on right now. We have a website builder that's in beta, and then we have an NFT marketplace that we're going to be launching within 3 months. So we're pretty stoked to be here, to be aligned with these builders, these movers and shakers.
Awesome. JV?
And my name is Coach JV, so I always say what you believe in your heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, we believe. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. So I'm Coach JV. The way I always sum things up is I say what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What all of you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity, and that's why we're all here today. So.
Awesome. Johnny?
My name's Johnny Crypto with a K, and I'm wishing you guys all a great day.
Awesome.
I'm a member of the 3T Warrior Academy and Good Morning Crypto Show. And also the CEO of Merlin. I just want to say to Brad and everybody, thank you so much for having us here today. We're happy to be part of this and looking forward to having a great conversation.
Yeah, so this is the product session here, and I'm really excited to have you guys up here. Many of us learned the lesson last bull run in not taking profit. And so, JV, can you warm us up and tell us a story about learning lessons?
Yeah, I think my whole life has been one lesson that's been projected on a screen called TikTok. So how many of you ever lost your money before? Only a couple people, okay. So from 2021 to 2022, we lost about 85% of our portfolio. What we saw is over 6,000 warriors worldwide within our academy go from just complete euphoria to complete destruction, mentally, physically, their families. And so what we aim to do is to look at how can we solve a problem that's been happening in history over and over and over again. The panel before was absolutely great. Would you guys agree we're in a massive cycle right now? So I have a question for you really quickly. If we do the same thing, what are we going to get? And what is that the definition of? Insanity. So what we learned with Merlin, so what we were doing is we were carrying around these exit strategy spreadsheets, basically. I was working 19 hours a day back then. I was saying I was free, and I was just being transparent with you guys. It was an inauthentic way to live with this social media bullshit where people, this grind culture, work 12 to 19 hours a day. I'm carrying a spreadsheet, trying to look at my spreadsheet, trying to get rich in crypto. And I realized that's not how wealth is built. Wealth is being built here and here by becoming disciplined and consistent. And so what we learned through the bull run was, number one is crypto is an amazing, amazing opportunity to gain a large amount of wealth for your family. But if you don't have a game plan, you're gonna end up like the Dogecoin millionaire.
Gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we all learned that lesson, and you guys have created a product here to help us develop an exit strategy. So Johnny, do you want to speak on that product and what you guys are rolling out?
Yeah, it'd be great. Thank you. So innovation really is the lifeblood of any company. And what we set out to do when we developed Merlin was to understand the unmet need. And we did that from a very consumer-centric, focused perspective. We wanted to understand what was that unmet need or pain point that we could solve. And when you talk to consumers, what you learned was most people didn't know what their portfolio was doing. They didn't know what it was worth, and therefore they couldn't make a decision. So the problem we were trying to solve was how do we put the power back in the hands of the people so they can make a decision? Do I want to buy? Do I want to sell? Do I want a dollar cost average? And what we know is that on average, over 55% of people have 15 coins or more. They have them spread over 5 exchanges. And so imagine now when the markets are pumping and dumping and you're trying to scramble and figure out what's my account worth? Which coin is going up? Which coin is going down? What do I do? It became very, very hard to do. And that's where we said, okay, we're gonna develop an easy way to do that. And that's how Merlin was born. When we married the idea of taking that spreadsheet, rolling that so much up, throw it out the window, and create something that you could put in your hands. And coupling that with the idea of, let's have it married with an exit strategy. And it's like, oh my God, it became incredibly powerful because now we had a product that is different than the rest of the products out there and puts the power back in the hands of the people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, as far as putting, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As far as, putting power back in the hands of the people, Micah, you're building something that can be applied to all small businesses, any size business, right, with what you're doing. And so let's talk a little bit about your product and why you chose the Flare network to build on.
Yeah, so let me first highlight why we chose to build on Flare. 3 reasons: cross-chain compatibility, gas fees, and then the state connector. That's revolutionary. Cross-chain compatibility. Even right now, what we're seeing with the Flare network and the milestones they're hitting, we are absolutely sure, and I don't think it's just because we're partial to what they're doing, but we believe them to be a legacy layer 1 network that's connecting these chains. So that's number 1. Number 2 is obviously gas fees, right? That's huge. It's amazing how something as small as gas fees can inhibit innovation. It's fascinating to us. We're seeing that even with the interacting with builders. And then third, state connector. That's revolutionary. And can't get into all the technical details on that, but feel free to find me and we can chat more about that. I would say this, that based on what the Flare network is building, it allows companies like us to come behind them and to build tools on top of technology that allow for human connection, right? The idea that you can go out and you can buy your name and then you can begin building your digital brand online, and then you can then integrate it with offline conferences all around cryptocurrency. I mean, that is something that really excites us. That's the opportunity to really cultivate human connection. And let me go a little bit more into detail on even how we've built. So Flare naming service, suite of products. Right now, our focus was that we wanted to get to market with an independently audited product as fast as possible. We put our heads down, we built like crazy, and I got to give a shout out to DAI and Kimes. I tell you, man, for a team like ours to just build, and then for these guys to come around us and say, hey, we see what you're building, we're going to guarantee success for you. I mean, that's phenomenal, right? The idea for us as innovators to build, release, and then see the result of that is what we're experiencing right now because we launched yesterday at this conference. The opportunity with, again, back to your question about businesses, the opportunity to grab a premium domain and then to begin building emotional connection with your followership, utilizing a name that is associated even at a high level or even very specific. The idea, let's say, for example, you have a financial advising service. You go on our service, grab finance.flr, begin engaging and begin building. Now that may be taken right now, I don't know, because all this is live. But that opportunity exists now for us to finally begin building, community connections on top of the technology, and that's really what we're focused on doing.
And to highlight, you said that you're partnered up with Flare, or you're working with Flare, right?
Yep.
And you got the independent audit, and so
Yep.
Can you speak a little bit more on that relationship with Flare?
Yeah, so, in this space, it's really important to not just be a fast grab, but to really deliver excellence that moves the community forward. And so, in some of our conversations, a lot of the conversations were dependent upon a major qualification, which is build something, go out and get it independently audited to see how serious you are, because you can't fake it on stuff like that. And so for us to actually be awarded that just about 48 hours ago, right before launch, and then be able to ride with that is something that the rest of the Flare community we have found has just been really supportive of.
Yeah. And even though it's the .flare domains, you can receive payment in any crypto, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
We're in the process right now then of integrating, we're in conversations with several wallets right now. We're going to be onboarding several cryptocurrencies, over the next 48 hours. Yeah.
Okay, and one more question.
Yeah.
What separates .flare domains here, what you guys are working on, from the other domains?
Sure. A lot of it comes down to the suite of products that we're building and that we're going to deliver, because just even how the methodology, the philosophy that's guided our company bringing a product to market is what we're going to use to bring these other products. For example, a website builder. This isn't just going to be a splash page that you can throw up. We have that website builder in beta right now. In addition to that, then this NFT marketplace. Again, we actually, due to connections at this conference, these are just ideas and projects that now there is movement behind with technical expertise that are going to allow us to bring this to market and differentiate us from maybe other big players that are offering other domains.
Yeah, and obviously having the cross-chain interoperability with Flare is going to be critical. Now, same question over to you guys. Johnny, what separates your product? There's plenty of, there's a few crypto trackers out there, but you guys have done some things that are pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we did was, when we developed Merlin, we knew, first of all, people watch their portfolios go all the way up and all the way back down. And we said, we need to stop that. We need to prevent that from happening. The only way to do that is you have to take the emotion out of the game. Coach talked about that earlier, or actually you mentioned too, emotion. Emotion is so important because the markets are set up to run on our emotions. So we said we need to solve that. So what Merlin does, it allows you, to be able to see what your portfolio is doing in an instance. You can see your daily balances, your total balances instantly, where all your coins are, and more importantly, your average price. So you know what you bought it at. And so most of the trackers do that. Where we went to the next step over that was we said, okay, let's create a tool that allows everybody to go and create their own exit plan. Now you can go in there, and the reason why that's important, and Coach talks about this, is discipline. It forces you to think about, when we write stuff down, we remember it. So by having an exit tool and going through the process in the app very easily, and by the way, guys, there's a demo in the back. I encourage you all to go check out the demo back there. We're showing you exactly how it works, how you can create the exit plan, how you can see all your coins come in. And we are having a raffle at the end, 2 lucky winners. So go ahead and sign up. There's a QR code back there to do that. But that exit strategy then, when you set that up, when your price targets are hit, actually within 10% of your price target, you're going to get an alert from Merlin. It's going to say, hey, time to sell, right? So you get that first notification when you're about 10% away from your target. And then when your target is actually hit, you're going to get a second alert and say, okay, it's time to sell, go sell. And that's one of the things we did differently there. And another thing we did was we partnered with certain influencers in the space so people can either create their own exit plans or they can see what their favorite influencer's doing. Now, we can't release today the names of those influencers, so we're going to release that later, but we're excited. We have some really big names there. So that's the second thing we've done that's completely different than what everybody else is doing.
That's awesome. Now, JV, I know that you've just been building like crazy and just so much respect for your platform, but do you want to speak a little bit more broadly on continuing to build during a bear market? Our XRP community, we've been in the lawsuit for 2 years. We've been waiting for XRP to moon and have some fun, and we're having some fun here this weekend. But as far as building during a bear market and continuing to press on, How do you keep on building?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to be more committed to the pain of change and the pain of staying the same. Like what we always tell people in our Warrior Academy, it doesn't matter if you become a millionaire. What matters is who you become in that process, which is the most important thing right now. There's a reason why 6% of people retire with $1 million or more, and the rest retire with less, right? So if we keep doing the same thing our parents did over and over and over again, we're gonna get the same thing. So what we always encourage people to do is we continue to dollar cost average into these really amazing assets that are gonna change the world like XRP. But we're also making sure we're diversifying outside of cryptocurrency. As Micah said, we're building ecosystems. I truly believe that the new gas and oil is data, technology, and attention. Data, technology, and attention. My daughter introduced me to TikTok, and now we're a worldwide brand. Like, think about that for just a moment. I was honest about my story, switched it up, and another thing that we need to look at is this is a small percentage of the population sitting in this room. Do you realize how many people are talking like this? An extremely small percentage of the population. The panel before really highly recommend you dive in and get to know every single one of those people, because that's what we've done. And to answer your question, what we've done is if I did the same thing in 2020 when I ended up on my parents' couch, I had a nice crypto portfolio. I lost everything because of COVID. They shut us down, our business. We had one business, they shut us down. If I just focus on crypto as my strategy for retirement, I'd be back on my parents' couch again when the thing collapsed 85%. What I decided to do is to look at the ecosystem that was around me. What were the conversations? What were they reading? What were they doing? They were taught to go to school, get a job, put their money in a 401k. The 401k before 1974 the stock market was considered a casino. So think about where we sit right now. Every single dollar you own is someone else's debt, right? Fiat, fake currency. Our 401k is the casino. And so we're doing the same thing as our parents did over and over again. So richest man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So what we're doing in our Warrior Academy is we're working harder on understanding the mechanisms of money and making sure that the money becomes current just like the banks do. The banks are in a liquidity crisis right now, so you need to keep your money liquid. So those are the things that we're doing right now in a bear market. The bear markets are the greatest time in human history to become wealthy, but you have to have an exit plan. You have to have an exit plan. So I just want to say from my heart to yours, like, you have to be more committed to the pain of change and the pain of staying the same. It's going to be effing uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable, family. I have to rewire the subconscious mind programming from generation to generation. My parents did a great job, but they never talked about wealth. They went to school, they got a job, they stayed in line. I remember sitting in banking school, executive banking school, and I asked one of the professors, I said, this doesn't seem right. Why do we do it this way? You know what he said to me? He said, because we've always done it that way. Just because somebody's done it that way doesn't mean it's right. And that's exactly why we're sitting in the system we're in today.
That's awesome. I love that energy, Coach. Now, with just a couple minutes left to go, I wanted to ask, how do we get this adoption? You and I both know the power of that little TikTok platform, which has been nice to us. But how are you going to help push adoption of cryptocurrency going forward here?
This is how I explain it. This is just my thesis. You should always work harder on yourself than you do anything else. If you try to change the world, you're going to affect nobody. When you change yourself, you affect everybody. So what I've been doing is I've just been, I call it post and ghost. I put it out there. I don't respond to haters. I say I love you to them. So what I think the most important thing for your family and your ecosystem is instead of telling them what to do, become what you want to see. Yes. And I think that's the most important thing. As Gandhi said, to be the change, to change the world is to be the change. I'm paraphrasing that. But I think that's really important because a lot of you, raise your hand if it feels like you're talking to a wall or you get frustrated when you try to bring this up to your family. Right? Yeah. So what are you going to do? Get frustrated, or are you going to, what's going to happen? First they'll judge you, then they'll respect you, and then they'll start to follow you and ask questions. Just stay focused on managing through the judgment because you're about to do something that they don't understand. And what do people fear? What they don't understand. So they don't understand where we're heading. When you talk about XRP, this digital currency, all this stuff, as they're sitting in a fake currency inside the casino, they're telling you the cryptocurrency is a fraud, right? Who's right? Them, us, left, right, up, down, Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, we're all right. The truth is, what you do every single day, your decisions, Done with discipline and consistency is a reality that you're facing right now. So if we all rose up together, this community right now, and worked harder on yourself than you do anything else, stop telling people how to change and change yourself, we can change the whole world, family, I promise you. So that's something that I just wanted to get across today. I know we're supposed to talk about exit strategies and but this is such an important time in human history. Use your Twitter to express your message. Use TikTok to share your story. Use social media. I don't care if 2 people are listening or 100 people are listening. Share your story because there's somebody out there that needs to hear what you have. That's what I have to say.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. And that's the energy right there, folks. That's the energy to keep this community moving forward during the bear market. And now, besides coming on my show here sometime soon, Micah, what are you going to do to help get us some more cryptocurrency adoption?
Oh man, that is a loaded question. That was not as a part of a plain conversation.
Threw that one in.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, I think a lot of it has to come down to focus on building something with excellence and bringing product to market that advances the community. That's not focused on enrichment just for our gain, but rather enrichment for the community. And let me highlight exactly how we chose to implement that with our company. Let me put it in perspective too, the opportunity. So there are 150 million .com domains registered, 2.8 million .eth, there are about 40,000 .xrp. Right now there are about 1,500 .flr domains, primarily because we launched yesterday, so that's all just in the last 16 hours. But in addition to that, our company reserved less than 100 domains, primarily because we want to see the community move forward. We want to give small business owners the opportunity to access, that premium domain to build that community and begin moving their own communities. Back to what Coach JV was saying, like getting an opportunity to build yourself at a community under a name that represents who you are and attracts the right people. That's what we're about, and so we're pretty stoked that we were able to bring that to market.
That's so awesome. This session this conference couldn't have happened at a better time when the community needs this energy and to be reminded that we are still building, we are still moving forward, and I think that we got a lot coming our way. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Huge shout out to Brad Kimes again and to my guests here with me.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Good?
Thank you, Brad.
Awesome.
Thank you.